German Fest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The battle to find America's top lumberjack continues. Last time, 4 athletes punched their ticket to the championship. Today, 8 lumberjacks will battle in Pool B for their opportunity to advance. Only the top 4 will move on to the finals.
From Diana, West Virginia, he's won this national championship before. Give it up for Jason Lentz.
One heavy hitter favored to advance is former U.S. and world champion Jason Lentz.
It's good competing in front of a good crowd here at German Fest, but I tune it out. I don't hear anything other than the go, and then when the block severs, that's about it. I hear the crowd after that.
Finishing second in 2022, Nate Hodges looks to best his past performance.
You gotta stay focused here, not let nerves get you, and go out there and do what I've been training hard for, and just try to do the events proper. If I can do the events proper, I'll be in a good situation.
These athletes, along with 6 others, will compete in 6 disciplines, 3 sawing and 3 chopping, for their chance to be the country's best lumberjack. We're ready for the first discipline of the day, the springboard.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
Pool B competition begins with the springboard. In Heat 1, first-time qualifier in the semifinals, Tom Lancaster takes on David Moses.
Here comes the power of David Moses. Into the block right around 32 seconds. Once he gets that big wood out, he can pick up speed. Tom Lancaster, boy, is that board is just struggling to hold in that pocket. And we're gonna need a medic for Tom Lancaster. He's had a slight cut on his finger.
Tom Lancaster will not be able to finish his cut in the springboard due to an unfortunate turn of events.
I crawled up weird, kind of slowly, because I didn't trust that board fully. And when I did it, I think my knee bumped the axe. And the board shifted, so I did one of these to react to the axe dropping, and it dropped right on my finger. The heel of the axe dropped on my finger.
6 stitches, no harm.
That could be a lot worse, yeah.
All right, I'm glad you're good.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Tom Lancaster will now have to withdraw from the competition, set his sights on next year. Moving into Heat 2 of the springboard, Billy Kunelius and Mark Bouquin are trying to best a time of 1:19.14 laid down by David Moses.
Billy Kunelius around the back. These are downward slicing motion, this slashing technique, fully legal. You do not need an up hit anymore. Billy says, I'm just gonna take it down, and one more. We're right around 1:30 and a wave to the crowd.
Billy Kunelius would take the heat, but David Moses' time would hold up heading into the 3rd heat. Calvin Willard and Adam Lethco in Heat 3 try to best the 1:19.14 laid down by David Moses.
Adam Lethco not waiting around. A couple more hits in the backside, a slight scoop there. That'll cost him 1 second. He's going around, he saw that block slab, said, let's keep it legal. Look at the size of the backhand. Holy cow. You know, you told me, Dave, I've been working so hard, I'm down 12 pounds, and that's a lot of weight for a guy like you. How do you compensate that for a semifinal day today, moving into the finals?
Well, I stand on saggy boards like that one right there, and they not fall out. That extra 12 pounds would have sagged it down a lot, I'd say.
Lethco's time of 52.94 sets the mark for the athletes in the final heat of the springboard.
Final heat of the springboard chop, Jason Lentz and Nate Hodges.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
On the left, Jason Lentz, U.S. and world champion in 2021. Nate Hodges, 2 silver medals in these national championships.
Oh, the pathway's so different for these 2 gentlemen. Jason Lentz, 4th generation competitor. Nate Hodges just decided one day, I'm gonna do this, and absolutely threw himself into it with everything he had. He has been an absolute juggernaut in this sport. Jason Lentz breaking statistics right now. He is up to the top before Nate Hodges. I would have expected Hodges to board better and Lentz maybe reel him in the chop. This is a big advantage for Jason Lentz. Great looking board set for Jason, and he is wading deep into the white pine at the top. Hodges, though, is gonna try to reverse and flip the script with Hodges now reeling in Lentz. No, it won't. It'll be Lentz hanging on for the win. What a race between two exceptional axemen. Great climb, clean climb, first to the block at the top and got the work done. I think there's even more gas in the tank for that chop at the top, and I think when we get to finals time, I think we're gonna see even more out of Jason Lentz in this springboard event.
All business today. You don't need to beat him up. You got to beat him on power, but today you beat him to the top, and you just won the race.
Yeah, I climbed pretty good there, Dave. I was with Lawrence O'Toole this week at Nancy Zaleski's. That's pretty much all I trained, pockets, stock saw.
All right, well, it paid off. One event down. You got 8 points, buddy.
Jason Lentz is off to a great start, taking top points in the springboard. Now we turn our attention to stock saw, where the difference between first and last place can only be tenths of a second. For more on the stock saw, here is the discipline review.
Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, one downward and one upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
1, go!
Billy Kunelius would start the stock saw off solo and lay down a sub-12-second run.
Pulled the engine down a little bit. He's going to make that adjustment at the top. That's great cut.
Calvin Willard and David Moses in Heat 2 try and best that time of Billy Kunelius.
3, 2, 1, go!
Moses with the advantage on the start. Calvin Willard. Absolute flawless transition. Then Moses gained ground. Oh, look at that time for Willard. Did what he needed.
And it would be Calvin Willard setting that time to beat with a new personal best, 11.46.
Third heat of the stock saw. Let's bring them out. Mark Bouquin and Jason Lentz. Jason Lentz, our leader in steal points overall, propelled by that win in the springboard. They're chasing 11.46. Dead heat. Absolutely a dead heat. Lentz with a slight lead and gaining and gaining. Look at those times. Lentz just dropping the hammer. Fantastic cuts from both these athletes.
Mark Bouquin and Jason Lentz would finish 1 and 2, with Lentz setting a new personal best in the stock saw, an 11.06. Only one heat remains in the stock saw, Nate Hodges, who sits in third, and Adam Lethco in second in overall points.
What an uncharacteristic bobble for Nate Hodges.
Neither Hodges nor Lethco would best the time of Jason Lentz, who would take the win and top points in the stock saw. Lentz is also the overall points leader heading into our next discipline, the standing block. For more on the standing block, here's our Duluth Trading Discipline Review.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
In Heat 1, David Moses would go up against Billy Kunelius. It would be Kunelius taking the heat with a time of 22.03. In Heat 2, Mark Bouquin would have trouble in the backside of his log and would not be able to beat Kunelius' time of 22.03. In Heat 3 of the standing block, Adam Lethco and Calvin Willard would both lay down respectable times.
Lethco almost ready to drive. It could be Lethco. Lethco driving in the middle. No, it's Willard.
But it would be Calvin Willard setting the new time to beat at 21.57 with one heat remaining.
Let the grudge match continue. Final heat of the standing block chop, Jason Lentz and Nate Hodges.
I just know that I'm human and I make mistakes more often than some people. And that's hindered the STIHL Timbersports series for me. I always have one bad discipline, have had, other than 2021. Hopefully that changes again this year and I'm on track for all 6 disciplines as best as I can compete.
Standing block, springboard, and hot saw. Those are kind of, those are more or less my top events. I really want to shine in those, try to put too much pressure on myself. but just go out and do the motions, and I'm usually end up in the the top rankings there with those 3 events.
1, go!
Nate Hodges needs to get a lot bit back after that stock saw. That was not where he wanted to be. He also lost to Jason Lentz in the springboard. Lentz around very quick. That is not a premature leave on the front of that log. He has all of his work done. What a finish from Jason Lentz!
I can't even describe the speed and the power of Jason Lentz.
Jason Lentz's cut in the standing block is the John Deere power play. Nothing runs like a deer.
But as soon as he made that turn, it was evident he had all the work done in the front side of that log. You watch him open this thing 1 and 1, goes back at it 1 and 1 again, and then just pops one driver in the far side to send the top of the log to the stage. What an awesome cut. Stand him up. Let's do it again.
Jason, you've always been a power hitter, but you just found speed this year. Is that something you learn, or have you just grown into it? 'Cause that's the fastest swing speed I've seen.
Yeah, I have to ante myself up a little bit, rev my heart rate, think fast, and let it all hang out.
And letting it all hang out is exactly what he's doing. He said if he can remain mistake-free, he could be on the road to winning his 2nd championship. Lentz has won the first 3 disciplines in Pool B competition, so you could say he's mistake-free. Now we move on to our next discipline, the single buck. For more on the single buck, here's the Ace Hardware Tools of the Trade.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand-sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around €1,500.
Heading into the single buck, Jason Lentz, Calvin Willard, Adam Lethco, and Nate Hodges are currently in the top 4 spots. The bottom 4 competitors need to pick up top points in the next 3 disciplines if they want to make it to the finals. In the first heat of the single buck, David Moses sets the time to beat with a sub-18-second performance.
That is what you get with experience.
Next, Billy Kunelius, who sits just outside the cut in overall points, takes on Calvin Willard. And Kunelius would take the heat and set the time to beat at just over 17 seconds.
What a run for Billy Kunelius and Calvin Willard. I think they're gonna move past David Moses and his time set in that first heat.
Next, Adam Lethco takes on Nate Hodges, and it would be Hodges taking the heat and setting the time to beat at 16.35. Mark Bouquin, who sits just outside the cut line, holds the national record in the single buck. He's overcome health issues and is working hard to make the finals.
Getting ready for the STIHL series, I have been training. I haven't been able to push myself the way I used to prior to my heart surgery. I had a competition, was it 2 years ago now? I went to AFib real bad and had to get cardioverted at the hospital where they paddle you. And then I had to get an ablation surgery to correct that AFib. And it's finally getting better now, almost 2 years later, the heart is, but I went from being extremely active, training very aggressively 5-6 days a week, running 20-30 miles a week, to not doing a single thing, struggling walking to the end of my driveway to get my mail. So that resulted in some weight gain. So I am battling to lose that. I'm still probably 60 pounds heavy compared to where I am most optimal at. And hopefully next year's or year and a half to come, I'll be where I need to be.
Here in the final heat of the single buck, Mark Bouquin goes up against Jason Lentz. They're looking to best a time of 16.35, laid down by Nate Hodges.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber.
Jason Lentz has got to get through the man on the right there. Mark Bouquin, arguably one of the best single buck sawyers in the nation, an exceptionally powerful sawyer. That is no match, though. I think Jason Lentz is going to be able to stay right there with him. Watch as this battle plays out. Bouquin is in the advantage by a good margin. And a hang up as Lentz tries to shove off at the bottom. Mark Bouquin showing a time sub 15 seconds. Jason Lentz just to the north side of that mark.
Bouquin is going to take this win. He's going to get those steel points. That's exactly what he needed.
Oh, Mark was really running away with it, and then all of a sudden the bottom third, Jason was just reeling him in. It got a lot closer here in the bottom of the log, but he got a little too aggressive here. You can see the nose of that saw, it just hung a raker on the far side, goes into a pull stroke, a little half stroke, and finishes it off. What a great job, though, by Jason Lentz reeling in Bouquin, who was consistent all the way down through the log. He's still learning, he's still growing. As fast as he is, he has more speed there.
I know you're frustrated, Mark, after that standing block chop. You were waiting for this single buck. Tell us about that cut.
No, it was a pretty good cut. I was really happy with it. A little firmer wood, so I was trying to put the pace on it. Learn a few new things, trying them out. And yeah, it came together.
I know there's a lot going on. You want to get these steel points. You want to make it to the finals. And I know you're just dying to be the U.S. single bucker on the U.S. team. I'm hoping for you too, but I think it'd be a heck of a team if you were on there. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We just gotta relax. Do what we know how to do. Have some fun.
Taking a look at who will make the move in the John Deere driver's seat leaderboard. Mark Bouquin did himself a lot of good by taking top points in the single buck. It moved him from 6th to 4th in overall points with only 2 disciplines remaining. We now move back to the axes for the underhand chop.
Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
First heat of the underhand competing solo, first-time qualifier to the U.S. Championship, Billy Kunelius, sitting in 6th in overall points and needing a fast time.
With slope, with power, a little hang up. Let's give one more. There he is. Sometimes I say the log is lifeless. How'd you feel about that underhand log?
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail, Dave. It was pretty lifeless. It's pretty stiff, but you know, it's all part of the game. We all got the same log.
His time of 28.01 would be bettered in heat number 2. Calvin Willard versus David Moses.
Chipping out the bottom, broke the top. Middle, can he get that bottom fiber off? There it is. 3 textbook hits.
Calvin Willard would set a time of 27.37 for the remaining 2 heats. In Heat 3, Nate Hodges sits in 2nd place in overall points, going up against Adam Lethco, who sits just outside the cut line in 5th.
This round won't take long. Lethco on your left, Hodges on your right. Hodges just a club-handed chopper. I shouldn't say just. He has both his hands down at the bottom of that handle and just absolutely throws that axe head in. Lethco, you see, engaging a lot more of his body. He has to. He gives up so much mass to Hodges. Hodges, in this case, though, is going to have the horsepower to push through that 13-inch white pine log.
Man, is that a good cut? Holy cow. But he just found a whole nother gear.
Nate Hodges would take the heat and the top spot in the underhand, while Adam Lethco, who really needed a fast time in the underhand, sits in 4th with 1 heat remaining.
Final heat of the underhand, and it is a Richter scale rumble. Let's bring them out. Mark Bouquin and Jason Lentz. 21.66 from Hodges on the line. Remember, there's only 1 event to go after this. They're grabbing every steel point possible.
I mean, that one that he didn't win was at the hands of Mark Bouquin in the single buck event, but I don't think Jason wants to lose another one to him. Bouquin, an exceptionally powerful underhand cutter, has all of the work done in the front of that log, slamming away a big piece of wood. Jason is looking good on the top. He's got wood hanging on the bottom. He's got to work that bottom more. He's still chasing that bottom. This is giving time for Bouquin. It's not. Lentz is going to stay on top. I don't think either one of them, though, has the time to beat Nate Hodges.
Jason Lentz and Mark Bouquin would lay down respectable times, but it wouldn't be enough. Nate Hodges takes top points in the underhand and sits in 2nd place in overall points. Jason Lentz is a lock for the finals, while 2nd through 6th place competitors are not. They need to have clean, fast cuts if they want to make the finals, which is not an easy task in the hot saw. As the deck crew resets the stage for our final event, let's take a look at our Ace Hardware reset. Jason Lentz started the day with a win in the springboard.
Lentz! Holy cow!
He carried that momentum heading into the next event, taking the win in the stock saw.
Look at those times.
Lentz completed the hat trick by taking the top spot in the 3rd discipline, the standing block. Needing a win to get back into the overall points race, Mark Bouquin snatches victory in the single buck.
Bouquin is going to take this win. He's going to get those steel points. That's exactly what he needed.
And in the fifth event of the day, Nate Hodges takes the win in the underhand.
He's driving 1, 2, 3. Man, is that a good cut? Holy cow.
And now it's time for our final discipline, the hotsaw.
Hotsaw. For the hotsaw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
In Heat 1 of the hotsaw, it would be David Moses going up against Billy Kunelius, who sits in 6th place and needs to have a fast time if he wants to get inside the top 4.
Oh, Billy Kunelius very fast in the wood. David Moses' saw did not want to fire well in warm-up, and it seemed to hesitate. If Kunelius has 3 clean discs, that is going to be an exceptional time.
Well, you just attacked that log. You cut out, but you recovered very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in 6th place with tied with Adam Lethco, and he's set the world record last year. So you know, I knew I had to go. Bobbled the upcut, so now it's just sit and hope and pray.
Billy Kunelius' time of 6.95 would be the mark for the remaining heats. In Heat 2 of the hotsaw, Mark Bouquin would go solo.
Bouquin, party of 1. Oh, trouble though at the start.
Mark, do you know what happened on that first cut?
Yeah, remember when I said you should be relaxed and do what you know how to do? Well, I did what I forgot my belt, so it sucked in the shirt into the carb.
He would post a time, but not a fast time. He will receive no less than 3 points, which could just keep him inside the top 4.
Heat 3 of the hotsaw, Calvin Willard and Nate Hodges.
Calvin Willard and Nate Hodges here, both of them in the top 4 as we enter the hotsaw.
Tommy, the interesting phenomenon too with these saws, we've seen the pendulum swing over the years in terms of displacement, being smaller, lighter, being larger, heavier, more displacement. Back in my day, we were running like 300, 325. That was when the Rotax motors were really running. Then the pendulum swung down to 250cc Hondas. Nate Hodges is stepping to the stage now with like 430 cc's of displacement, and he handles it very well.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Into the wood, both cuts are started. Oh, Hodges a little bobble at the top, but he's gonna run through, showing a time in the low 6-second range, doing his own pre-inspection before the judges get over there. I think he was worried he got out of hand at the top. Maybe the centrifugal force of that motor spinning pulled him off course a little bit.
Very, very thin at the bottom of the line, though. Is that 6-inch line fully remaining? I'm seeing Rich Hallett reach, and there's some air time.
Let's have a look at this run from Nate Hodges as he attempts to make 3 clean cuts. First one up and in good, but you can see it's just a little bit of slope coming in. Now you've got to change directions on that 60-some-odd pound piece of aluminum and steel. And then here's where things went wrong. See a little blip of the throttle? That nose of that bar kicked up in the air. That was just a momentary lapse. And then he comes down through that log. One thing that can go wrong, that I don't think did go wrong in this case, but you see that spinning chain? He's kind of got his nose down where the bottom of the log will get hit after the 3rd cut is made, and that is still cutting on or over that line, and that is still a disqualification.
Stand 1, your cut was good. Stand 2, missing line, DQ.
With that DQ in the hotsaw, the fate of Nate Hodges is left in the hands of Adam Lethco and his performance in this event in which he set a world record in 2022. Let's take a look at that moment in our Duluth Trading Company Durability Rewind.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Points on the board would be a good start. Adam Lethco says, I don't want to just make points, I want to win this thing. 4.83 seconds showing on that unofficial time. That could be a new record in the hotsaw. Let's watch this in slow motion so we can appreciate how quick he was to the wood, through the wood, and on all these changes. Zero lift, absolutely shuffling wood chips out of the way. What an amazing run. It's such a beautiful thing when all those pieces come together.
Final heat of the hot saw. Jason Lentz and Adam Lethco. Only the two best hot sawyers in the country. Lethco just shocked the world in Little Rock, Arkansas last year, setting a record in the hot saw in the 4-second range. And from what I'm hearing, he's mathematically could still make it in the finals.
Lethco in a must-win situation. That is, I don't know. In a hot saw event, I cringe a little bit. He is our current record holder. He is an exceptional operator. It's just all got to come together here for Adam Lethco if he wants to advance to the finals. So they do. Both these guys attacking the block. Oh, disaster for Lethco. That is it. That is over for Adam Lethco. He went full tilt on that, and it did not pay out. Here's that all or nothing run from Adam Lethco. That first disc, not only was it thick, but it was at an angle, so he ran out of timber. He then doubled down and went even thicker. Had nothing to work with on that third one. You can see the saw come out of the side of the wood. He was absolutely in full send mode, which is what he needed. Here's what I love about Adam Lethco. There's the smile, there's the laugh. He knew he sent it all out. He knew it didn't pay out. You don't see him mad, you don't see him upset. Big smile, laugh from Adam Lethco. He will be back.
Jason Lentz will take the hot saw with a time of 5.44. And Adam Lethco's DQ in the hot saw will keep Nate Hodges in the top 4, along with Jason Lentz, Calvin Willard, and Mark Bouquin. Next time, we turn our attention to Pool C, where we will get the remaining 4 competitors for the finals.
My outlook going into the championship is one of, let's see if I can be a thorn in the side of the young boys. That's all I want to do.
We are at 16, Junior starting to drive. Zach Browse answers, and it's Junior.
I've been doing this series for 35 years. And so, if anybody out there lacks hair, has some gray hair, that one was for you all. How about that?
Stand 1, your cut was good. Stand 2, DQ.
I didn't see that coming.